Hi, I'm Andrew. Most days I'm just your average 35-year-old IT consultant who spends too much time fixing other people's computer problems and not enough time having an actual life. My apartment is usually quiet, just the way I like it after dealing with clients all day. That changed last Thursday night. I was sprawled on my couch watching the basketball game when someone knocked on my door. Not even knocked, more like a weak tapping. The winter storm outside was howling something fierce, so at first I thought it was just the wind. Who the hell is out in this weather? I opened the door and nearly had a heart attack. There stood my 8-year-old niece Lily, shivering violently, her lips blue, wearing nothing but jeans, sneakers, and a thin sweater. No coat, no gloves, no hat, in 15-degree weather with snow piling up. "Uncle Andrew?" Her voice was barely a whisper. I scooped her up immediately. She felt like an ice cube. "Jesus, Lily, what happened? Where's your mom?" I rushed her inside, grabbed every blanket I owned, and wrapped her up on the couch. Her teeth were chattering so hard I worried they might crack. I cranked the heat and made hot chocolate, adding extra marshmallows the way she likes. "I walked here," she finally managed after her shivering calmed down. "You walked? From Jessica's house? That's 3 miles?" She nodded, her small hands clutching the mug for warmth. They were fighting again, really bad this time. My sister Jessica and her husband Robert had been a disaster for years, always screaming, throwing things, slamming doors, then making up like nothing happened. I distanced myself after the last family gathering when Robert got drunk and tried to fight me for suggesting Lily looked tired. "Does your mom know you're here?" Lily shook her head, then looked up at me with these huge eyes. "Can I stay with you, Uncle Andrew? Please be my dad instead?" Those words hit me like a truck. What the hell was going on at their house? I tried calling Jessica 3 times before she finally answered, sounding irritated. "What do you want, Andrew? I'm busy. Your daughter is at my apartment. She walked here in the snowstorm with no coat." The silence on the other end was deafening. Then, "Oh, she's there. Good. She threw a tantrum earlier. Let her cool off there tonight. We'll get her tomorrow." No panic, no concern, nothing. "She has hypothermia, Jessica. She could have died." "Don't be so dramatic. She's fine, obviously. Robert and I need some alone time anyway." I hung up, completely stunned, looking at Lily curled up on my couch, finally warming up and drifting to sleep. I made my decision. No way was I sending her back tonight. Maybe not ever, depending on what I found out tomorrow. "You're staying here tonight, kiddo. Get some sleep." As she dozed off, I noticed a dark bruise peeking out from her sleeve. My blood ran cold. This wasn't just about a fight she overheard. Something was very wrong at my sister's house. I couldn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I kept seeing that bruise on Lily's arm. By morning, I'd made up my mind to get some answers. While Lily was still sleeping, I called my neighbor Martha, a retired nurse who'd helped me when I broke my ankle last year. Within 10 minutes, she was at my door with her medical bag. "Thanks for coming over so early." "Nonsense. Where's the little one?" Martha adjusted her glasses, her gray hair pulled back in a neat bun. I led her to the guest room where Lily was still sleeping. "She showed up last night during the storm, practically frozen, but I'm more concerned about the bruises." Martha examined Lily gently when she woke up, making it seem like a game. The more she looked, the tighter her lips pressed together. I could tell it wasn't good. "These aren't from playing rough, Andrew." Martha pulled me into the hallway. "There are old bruises under the new ones, and she's underweight for her age." My stomach churned. "You think they're hurting her?" "I can't say for certain, but this isn't normal wear and tear." "Has she said anything?" Before I could answer, Lily appeared in the hallway, clutching the stuffed penguin I'd given her last Christmas. "Are you sending me back now?" Her voice was so small, like she was afraid of the answer. "Not right now, kiddo. How about some breakfast first?" Over pancakes shaped like Mickey Mouse, Lily started opening up. "Do you get hurt a lot at home, Lily?" She pushed her food around the plate. "Sometimes Daddy gets mad when I make noise during his important calls, or when I spill things." "What happens when he gets mad?" "He uses his big voice, then the grabbing, sometimes the belt." She said it so matter-of-factly that it made me sick. "Mommy says I need to try harder not to make him mad." Martha exchanged a look with me that said everything. "And what about food? Do you get enough to eat?" "Sometimes I forget to be good, so I don't get dinner. Or Mommy forgets to make it because she's tired." The doorbell rang, interrupting our conversation. I wasn't expecting anyone, but I had a sinking feeling I knew who it was. Jessica and Robert barged in the moment I opened the door. "Where is she? We've been worried sick." Jessica's voice was theatrical, nothing like the unconcerned woman I'd spoken to last night. Robert pushed past me. "Lily, get your things, we're leaving." Lily immediately froze, her fork clattering to the plate. She started trembling, just like when I found her in the cold. "She's not going anywhere with you." I stepped between them and Lily. Robert's face turned an ugly shade of red. "She's our daughter. You can't keep her here." "Really? Because last night Jessica was pretty happy to leave her here." "You've always been jealous of my family," Jessica sneered, "always trying to interfere." "Is that why your daughter showed up at my door with hypothermia and covered in bruises?" Robert lunged forward, grabbing my shirt. "Are you accusing me of something?" "Get your hands off me in my own house." Martha stepped forward. "As a medical professional, I've documented Lily's condition. Would you like me to call the police to file a report?" That made them back off momentarily. While they regrouped in harsh whispers, I called my old friend Michael, who'd become a family lawyer. He picked up on the second ring. "I need your help. Emergency custody situation." After explaining the basics, Michael advised me not to let Lily leave with them under any circumstances. When I hung up, Robert was red-faced and shouting again. "This is kidnapping! We'll have you arrested!" "Try it. My lawyer's already filing emergency custody papers, and Martha here is ready to testify about Lily's condition." They left with threats and curses, slamming my door so hard a picture fell off the wall. That night, after Lily was asleep again, I sat in my darkened living room and made a promise to myself. No matter what it took, Lily was never going back to that house again. The next morning, Michael arrived at my apartment with a stack of legal papers and a determined look on his face. "I've already filed for emergency temporary custody. The judge expedited it given the circumstances. You've got temporary guardianship until the hearing." "How long do we have to build a case?" 3 weeks, not much time, but enough if we're thorough." Michael spread the papers across my kitchen table. "Child Protective Services is sending a social worker tomorrow. Be ready for scrutiny. They'll investigate you too, not just Jessica and Robert." Sure enough, the next day, Elena Rodriguez from CPS showed up for the first of many visits. She was younger than I expected, but had sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Your apartment is bachelor-like." Elena made notes on her clipboard. "I'm already looking for a 2-bedroom. Found one in the same school district." "Good. Lily needs stability." She interviewed us separately, spending over an hour with Lily in the guest room. After she left, Lily seemed drained. "Did I do okay, Uncle Andrew?" "You did perfect, kiddo. Just told the truth, right?" She asked lots of questions about when Daddy gets mad. I started keeping a detailed journal, photographing Lily's healing bruises and writing down every story she told about life at home. Some nights, she'd wake up screaming from nightmares. "He's coming to get me!" She'd clutch at my shirt, trembling. "No one's taking you away, I promise." By the end of the first week, Jessica and Robert launched their counterattack. My phone exploded with messages from family members. "Your cousin Tom called me a kidnapper at the grocery store," I told Michael during our strategy session. "And someone at my job heard I have a drinking problem." Classic intimidation tactics. They're getting desperate. Michael suggested something bold. "Invite them to a mediation session. We'll record it with their consent. People like them can rarely keep up the act when challenged." The mediation was set for the community center. Jessica and Robert arrived looking polished and concerned. Nothing like the raging couple from my apartment. "We just want our daughter back," Jessica dabbed at dry eyes. "We've made mistakes, but we love her." "Then explain these." I placed photos of Lily's bruises on the table. Robert's mask slipped. "Kids get bruises all the time, she's clumsy." "In the shape of fingerprints, belt marks? You're twisting everything." Robert slammed his fist down. "She needs discipline." The mediator looked alarmed. Jessica tried damage control. "Robert works so hard to provide for us. Lily just doesn't understand how stressful adult life is. She's 8 years old. She doesn't need to understand adult stress." By the time we left, they'd shown their true colors on record. Next, we tackled Lily's school. Her teacher, Miss Parker, provided a goldmine of information. Lily often came to school hungry with unwashed clothes. She'd hoard food from lunch. We filed 3 reports with CPS over 2 years. "What happened with those reports?" Miss Parker looked frustrated. Jessica and Robert always had explanations. They're good at presenting well to authorities. Meanwhile, Lily was flourishing. Her nightmares became less frequent. She gained weight. The spark returned to her eyes. "Do I have to see them in court?" Lily asked one night as I tucked her in. "No, sweetheart. The judge will talk to you privately if needed. The night before court, Michael came over for final preparations. We've got solid evidence, credible witnesses, and Lily's clear improvement under your care. Be prepared, though. They'll fight dirty. Let them try, I said, watching Lily peacefully sleeping. Some fights are worth everything. The morning of the custody hearing, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. Michael squeezed my shoulder reassuringly as we entered the courtroom. Jessica and Robert sat across the aisle in matching Navy outfits, looking like perfect parents. Judge Harris began the proceedings. This court's primary concern is the welfare of the minor child. Jessica and Robert's lawyer painted me as a bitter bachelor trying to steal their daughter. When our turn came, Michael presented the evidence, medical reports, school documentation, and testimony from Miss Parker and Martha. We'd like to play the recording from the mediation session. Robert's face darkened as his own voice filled the room. She needs discipline. Kids don't learn without consequences. When Elena testified about Lily's interviews, Robert exploded. This is bullshit. You're all against us. Mr. Reynolds, control yourself, Judge Harris warned. You don't understand what it's like dealing with a difficult child. He's turned her against us. One more outburst and I'll hold you in contempt. Robert stood up, pointing. This whole system is rigged. That kid has been manipulating everyone. Two bailiffs approached as Judge Harris banged her gavel. Remove Mr. Reynolds from my courtroom. After a recess, the judge returned with her decision. I'm granting full custody to Andrew Mitchell with no visitation rights for the biological parents. Furthermore, I'm referring this case to the district attorney for potential criminal charges. Outside, Jessica cornered me. You've ruined everything. I'm not perfect. I'm just not hurting her. Within weeks, Jessica faced child endangerment charges. Robert's real estate business collapsed after clients learned about the case. Lily started seeing Dr. Wilson, a child psychologist, who reported steady progress despite the trauma. 6 months later, we'd established our new normal in a 2-bedroom apartment. Lily's room was decorated with butterflies and space posters. Her nightmares came less frequently. On a Saturday morning, we were making pancakes together, our weekend tradition. You're getting really good at this, chef. She beamed with pride. Do you think we could get a dog someday? Maybe when you're a bit older. Pets are a big responsibility. She nodded, flipping a pancake with surprising skill. Then, without looking up, she said it. I love you, Dad. The spatula nearly fell from my hand. It was the first time she'd called me that. I love you too, Lily. We were family now, not by blood, but by choice. And no one would ever hurt her again. Do you think Andrew was right to completely cut Jessica and Robert out of Lily's life? Or should he have allowed supervised visits despite the abuse? Where's the line between protecting a child and denying them access to their biological parents? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective on this complicated family situation. If you enjoyed this story of justice and new beginnings, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories like this one. New videos every week.